Hello, there's lots of video instruction on this website about carving letters, and the way I teach it is to break letter carving down into 4 parts: straight parts, curves, and then serifs and junctions. And of those, the junctions actually cause quite a bit of problem, because if you look at this mock-up here, what you have here between the thick and the thin is a very weak bit of short grain, a ridge between the two, and that's a bit that you break off if you're not careful. And if you break that off and you can't find it and glue it back on, then you really have spoiled the letter and there's nothing much you can do about it. So I've got an approach to carving this ridge that is safe and lets you get it without any problem. And what I'm going to suggest you do is exactly what I've done here, which is to mock up a big version of the letter. So it's not going to be carved in the way that you carve small letters. You need to take away a lot more wood. But by doing it, you really see what this thing looks like, why the ridge is there between the thin and the thick, and why you've got a little triangular pocket down the end here. So once you can see it, once you really get an idea of what you're looking for, then of course it makes carving a lot easier, and that's a general principle. So I'll put some notes in the download below about other useful videos about carving letters, but for the moment, a good idea to make up this big junction like this, just so we can really see what's going on and the method, the safe method of carving it. Here's my large mock-up of the junction. This is the center line, and here's the top line that would have other letters on, although normally the A comes a little bit above that. But for the moment, this is our layout. We've got a thick and a thin stroke coming up. The thick is about 1 inch wide in this mock-up, and this is 1/2 inch, so 25mm, about 13 on this side. Now, you'll see that I've cut the trenches for the 2 limbs first, and that's the normal practice. You cut the straight bits here and here, and stopping short of the serif 2 at the bottom end, and deal with the serifs or the junctions separately, because this is, as we said, quite a delicate area. So don't run your stab cut into this area, the initial stab cut, and stop short. There's no hard and fast rule, but somewhere below you can always nibble it up a little bit. Stop short here, and at the other end for the serif as well. So now when we look at this, you can see that I've got 2 edges here that go to the surface, and we need to bring those up along here, and 2 edges on this side, the thinner part, that goes up here. So we have to deal with these 4 edges, and they're a function of these 4 walls. There's a center root that should be in the middle, and we have 4 walls. And if I count them from the thick side to the thin side, we have 1, 2, then 3 over here, and 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm working, and I'm going to deal with these one at a time. I'm working from the thick side of the letter to the thin side. So if I look at a little drawing like this, here's my A, and I'm going to work at this junction from this side, thick to thin. Right? It's not right to left, because here's the V, and in this case we're working this way, thin on this side. Yeah. So because in a way it's not left to right. It depends how the thing's set up. Well, so for your N's or your M's or whatever, it's thick to thin. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to deal with these 4 walls one at a time. Starting with the first side, the first wall here, I'm going to put a stop cut from the point where I finished my trench up to the apex here, like that, in that direction. And I'm going to use the corner deep here, and I'm going to stop when I get to the top, but this is at right angles to the wood. So the first stop cut goes in here, like that. Now I can take out this first wall here. Oops. Now either I'm going to pull it like this, And of course this is quite difficult when it's so large, but when I'm at a smaller size letter I'll be pulling like this, or I'll be pushing like so. And what we're trying to do is to get this wall here merging with that wall up to the top. I can make this stop cut a little bit deeper here just to show you how that might look more like. Right, so it looks something like that. You'll be in fairly deep in here, and that's the first wall dealt with, and we can move right up to the apex there, and we're pulling back to finish off that side. So that's wall 1. So on to wall number 2, and we're going to put a stop cut in here to protect the wood from breaking out, and we're going to go from where this line number 2 meets the line number 4 here. That's the end of our stop cut, and then it's going to come down here to where the junction is at the bottom of the root there. So again, the corner leaning over, but at right angles to the wood. So I'm going to line that up there. So you're not going all the way down, you're not going right down, and you're not going beyond that edge. So from here you can now take out, and I'll have to do this in parts because it's so big. You can see I can take out wall number 2, pulling back like this. If you pull back or push forward, then you get a slice cut, and you come up to the corner but don't go beyond it. Okay, so let me just remove that bit, then you can see it a bit more clearly. Right, so what we've got here is this wall coming up. We've got the beginning of the ridge, which will be along there. So we're actually going this side of that ridge already. So that's wall number 2. On to wall number 3, and we need a third stop cut. This one is just square on, so it's not tilted, it's square on to the wood like this, and goes from along the root here to somewhere up there. Okay, probably to the midline here. So that comes straight in from there to there like that. Again, it doesn't have to be too deep. Certainly not you're not going to the bottom of the root here. All it is protecting and allowing some of that wood to come away. So now I can do wall 3. While I'm at it, I can come across here like this. So here's wall 3, and can you see now that the ridge is safe? This has all got to be cleared away, but this is the bit we're after, and this is what we've protected, so we can push this down here. And we can come right up and beyond that there like that. So we're left with a bit here, but there's our ridge, nice and safe already. The fourth wall doesn't need any new stop cut, but I am going to make that one a little bit deeper here. So just back to that one and just make that a little deeper. So now I can turn to the fourth wall, and again picking up this lower part, let's take it off here like this. So there's my fourth wall, and what I can do is just go back onto there. And now you can see here's a fourth wall coming in, not so neat as it could be joining the walls. I'm being a bit quick, but you want those smooth coming in like this, and there's the ridge. And what we're left with now is to clear away this bit in the middle. So we've made our 4 walls. We've got our embryonic ridge here. To remove this bit, we need to do a cut here, and a cut in here, and a cut there. But this is a big piece of wood, so I might need to do a little bit of a stop cut. But with a normal size letter, you would follow the ridge down here like this. Make sure that's safe. You could push this in a little bit in here. You can see already this is starting to pop out. And then you make a third cut over here, like so. I'm going to swap to a smaller tool, a narrow one. I'm using the big tool, and you can use that all the way. But I think, look at that. I think it's actually easier to show you with a smaller tool. So I've got to come in this way, down that ridge, down to the root. I've got to come this way. Okay, and this is, let me just clean that up so we can see that, make sure. So I've got this side and this side, and I've extended the ridge here to where it meets the root there. What's really important now is that there's going to be, because this is shallower than this, there's going to be a little end wall that dips down here. And the danger is that you make a wrong cut, and you can still, if you come in here, you will burst this off. So you've got to be quite careful. So I'm going to extend this into there a little bit, like that. Push that down there. And then this one comes across here like this. So I'll just clean that up. Now this is where it comes, in fact, if I show you this way, this is coming down here. You see how the corner of this tool goes into the lower part of this end wall there, like that. It's a little triangular. So this, but I would be cutting normally this way to go with the grain. So I'm going to put that in pencil just to make sure you can see it. So that there, you see the line comes along here, this wall comes along, drops down here into the bottom of the root of this limb, and then there it is. So this has got a little triangular bit, and that's what you have to get. And I say again, and you have to come in here without hitting this ridge. So nibble up, take care, you know, a bit of time over this, because at that point, now you've finished, you've got the nice safe ridge here, you've got clean walls, and you've got nice tidy junctions. And that's how a junction really works. Thick to thin, one wall at a time, and then sneaking up on the bit in the corner here.